You asked how the mood is here. I would say it's very mixed. I would say there's a lot of people here that are very, very excited, is possibly the wrong word, but very geared up about the fact that their man, Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, is now the king. They feel a personal attachment to the Prince of Wales for obvious reasons. There's a little bit of a mixed reaction from people around the concept of having another Princess of Wales, and of course we can understand that. The term Princess of Wales now is so emotionally charged, isn't it, Dan, that it's very, very hard for people of a certain age to think of anybody else as the Princess of Wales. And Princess Catherine has addressed that issue recently, and she said, you know, that she understands the historic weight that there is behind that title, and that she intends to honour the previous Princess of Wales by continuing her work, but in her own way. So there are issues with some people around that. It also has to be said that there are a significant number of people in Wales that don't agree with the concept of a Prince and Princess of Wales at all. Wales has a very different relationship with the monarchy in general than other parts of the UK does, and particularly around the title of Prince of Wales. It was bestowed on them back in the days of Edward I, and there's been a very checkered history to the role of the Prince of Wales. And a significant number of people have said to me today, I wish we'd been consulted. I wish we'd been asked at this point, this conjecture in history, whether we actually wanted to have a Prince and Princess of Wales. Now, having said that, it's worth pointing out that the politics of it, whether we should have a Prince and Princess of Wales, indeed people that's, you know, whether we should have a monarchy, is nothing to do with the people involved. And you won't hear anybody, I've certainly not heard anybody, that doesn't think the highest of King Charles, the Prince and Princess of Wales as people, and of course our Queen that we've lost this week. And there's a reason why the people in Wales have such a strong affection and respect for the late Queen. And that's to do with the 21st of October 1966. That was the day that 116 children and 28 adults were killed when a slag heap descended from the top of the hill in Aberfan and totally engulfed and destroyed a primary school, killing everybody inside. The Queen was slow to respond to that crisis. In those days, it was unheard of for a monarch to get involved with issues like accidents and things going wrong. It wasn't their job. But after about a few days, the Queen went down to Aberfan, and she was very famously pictured coming out of the house of somebody who had lost their children in this terrible, terrible tragedy, wiping a tear from her eye. And it's the first example of a monarch addressing their people directly and being there at a time of comfort. Before that, we had seen kings and queens in the past get involved with their public at times of stress. Yes, we had. But the monarch would always inspect the troops. George V, you know, in the First World War, would inspect the troops on the front line, while Queen Mary, the Queen Consort, would be visiting the hospitals. When the Queen came to Aberfan, she changed the way the majority of the Welsh feel about the monarch. And she changed the monarchy too. She created a compassionate, caring monarchy that hadn't been seen today. And certainly in Wales, Aberfan is the Queen's testimony here.
Beautifully put, Jeff Moody. Thank you.